Thank you for watching the World Community Magazine's Hour of Power Live on Facebook with your host Edward McQueen and April Garner Davis.
Brother
Wow.
Edward.
Yes, ma'am.
Brother
Yes,
Edward.
ma'am. Today, wow. April, how you doing over there?
I'm good tonight. How are you?
Good night. I'm great. I'm great. Haven't said that in a long time, but I'm feeling good. Feeling good, and I had a pretty good weekend. What about yourself?
It was a beautiful weekend. It was Easter weekend, and I tell you, that's the most beautiful weekend you can really experience, especially as a Christian. And so I enjoyed the weather. I enjoyed the fellowship. I enjoyed being with family. My family came up here to visit, and
Oh,
we had a
really?
good time. Yeah, we had a good time. We had a good time.
Nice.
Yeah.
A lot of them. A lot of them came up.
Yes. Well, my daughter and my sister cousin.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yes. They
That
came to
sounds
visit.
good. Well, family is always good. It's good to have family.
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
the issue, April, of at-risk children, that's been brought up, and that can never be talked about enough, right?
Correct.
I don't in most circles. So I mean, that's a nationwide issue, I believe. But for this evening, let's just pick South Carolina for example, just today,
Hmm.
and I'll let you move on from that point. But we I want to ask the people: have they ever heard of Teach My People as a
Hmm.
prelude to what just came on the broadcast with the graphics that indicated what they were doing, not necessarily how they were doing it, but what they were doing. And as you all can see, the website there is www.teachmypeople.com. So, and April, you have the insight on all of this with some people there, one particular person anyway. But I'm anxious to find out because I got some not comments, but just some questions that, yeah, I want to answer. Maybe maybe I'm your typical person in South Carolina. I haven't heard of the Teach My People. So
Hmm.
let's move with it. What do you say?
I think we should. But first of all, thank you all for joining us this evening. We appreciate your support every single week with WCM Live coming at you with community news, resources, information, topics, all the great things that are in and about community. And our little grassroots show here is all about introducing new resources or even existing resources that the community may not know about. We love educating the community on things that they may need or that they just need to gain some knowledge of. And one of the organizations that serves primarily Georgetown County is Teach My People, as Brother Edward said. And, anytime we could talk about youth and children and resources that will help them in terms of their development and empowerment, anytime we have an opportunity to do that, we are all for it. And we have a very special guest, someone who is very dear to me tonight, who is joining us, Kim Fox, who is the Interim Executive Director of Teach My People. She is going to talk to us about the mission and the vision of the organization, but also we're going to talk about, the need for Teach My People and why it's so significant to our communities, especially when it comes down to serving the populations that are involved or engaged in this particular type of resource. So without further ado, I am going to bring onto the screen Kim Fox. How are you doing this evening?
I'm so great, April. Thank you. And thank you, Mr. McQueen, for allowing me the opportunity to talk about something that's very close to my heart with a person that's very close to my heart.
Yes. So as we were letting everyone, we were talking in the pre-show, Kim and I go way, way back. And so it's amazing. We were in the marketing world together. And both of our lives, I think, have evolved into lives of service, I will say. And it's amazing to see Kim in this element because, of course, I met her as marketing director at the Litchfield Company once upon a time. And she definitely is passionate about what she does, both in, that particular career field, but also when it comes down to communities and serving the youth. I think she's found her niche. And so I want to learn more about it tonight as well. And Kim, I know that you provided us with your bio, a very extensive and impressive resume, but we'd love to hear from our guests, a little bit about themselves. So why don't you tell us what you want us to know about you?
Okay, well, thank you. I arrived in the Grand Strand in 1983. after graduating from college, and my dad said, "Come up here for a vacation." He owned some property, and then go back home to Florida where I was living and find a job. Well, I came here and found a job, and so I've been here pretty much steadily since 1983. And a lot of my friends tell me, you're the only friend we have that is actually doing the work that you studied for in college. So marketing and advertising and public relations. And then I found my place down in Pawleys Island and have been here since right after Hurricane Hugo in 1989, and just, fell in love with this community, and have been very blessed to be able to work, play, and live in a place where people save all their money and retire and come to. So I'm just glad to be here, and I am so thankful for Teach My People. I became involved with the organization about 15 years ago and have served in various capacities with the organization. But it's an organization that I can see a miracle happen every day, and that just makes my heart go pitter pat. I've never been in a place in my life where that has happened. So it is a glorious opportunity for me. And I just love Teach My People.
Mm-hmm. So Brother Edward, wow. I know that you were anxious to find out about how Teach My People came to be.
Yeah, because that title is very striking. So I just wanted to know the genesis of it.
So Teach My People started in 1999 in Pawleys Island with Reverend Van Arrington and a group of community leaders that came together to say we have students and youth in our community that aren't being served well. They, have challenges, and how can we support them in order to help them, get their high school degrees if they want to go to college, or if they want to find a trade and become contributors to our community. And so the name that I don't know how or who or when, but the name Teach My People comes from Ezekiel 44:23, where they are to teach my people the difference between the holy and the common, and show them how to distinguish between the unclean and the clean. So that is the purpose of the name and Teach My People. So it was started in 1999, and since then we have grown to have 2 campuses in Georgetown, 1 campus in Andrews, and 2 campuses here in Pawleys Island. And we serve currently 225 students. And starting in our summer program, we will add an additional 30. So that will bring us to 255 students.
Wow.
It's after school and summer program. I don't think I said that.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a Christ-centered, academically focused after school and summer program.
Mm-hmm. And so, go ahead, Brother Edward.
Yeah, I was about to say, you're centrally located where?
So our what I call our home team offices are on our campus. We have a brick and mortar building in Pawleys Island. So that's where our administrative staff is, as well as, our students for our Pawleys Island academic program, with the exception of our high school. Our high school is actually currently now meeting at Reverend Johnny Ford's church called House of God. And then they join us for dinner. We serve our kids a hot supper before they go home. But that's where our home base is. And then we are on campus in Georgetown at McDonald Elementary School. We have grades 1 through 5. We're on campus at Georgetown Middle School, grades 6 through 8. And starting this summer, we will have our first high school class of 9th graders. Our 8th graders obviously will graduate to 9th grade. And so they will, we will be on campus at the high school in Georgetown. And then at Andrews, we just started that 3 years ago. So starting this summer, we will have grades 1 through 3. And we actually accept, we have a closed enrollment. So we accept 10 students in first grade, rising first graders in the summertime. And those kids stay with us until they graduate from high school. So they're with us for 12 years. And that is one of the difference of Teach My People, is that it is a closed enrollment. We try really hard to not bring in other children after 5th grade, because once they get into middle school, they're, doing sports and they're not necessarily as consistent with us as they are through grades 1 through 5. But our kids stay with us for 12 years. It's a wonderful, that's where the miracle comes, because I get to see them grow from year to year. I get to see them change physically and emotionally and mentally, and see them be successful, as they graduate from one year to the next.
Wow.
So Kim, it sounds like part of the success of this program is in the school partnerships, because you mentioned the connection to several secondary schools in Georgetown County. And I think that's impressive that you're able to foster those partnerships to create like a funnel or a feeder into your program, because that's hard to do. It really is hard to not only create the partnerships because they've got to trust you, but also to create programs that are appealing or that are necessary in the community. And so you got to also appeal to the parents, not just the students, but the parents. So talk a little bit about like what that's been like in terms of working with the schools in Georgetown County.
I would say that our greatest partnership is with the Georgetown County School District. And we're so thankful that they believe in what we do. They see what we do. We have, like I said, a brick and mortar building in Pawleys, but that model will be its only one. To be able to be on campus at the school, the teachers that are teaching our kids during the day, they just run down the hall and come to our classrooms, and then our instructors and our campus directors are able to have a relationship with their teachers and with the guidance counselor. So if there's a challenge that happened that day, that communication happens between their day teacher and their after school teacher or instructor. So we're very thankful for that. We couldn't do this without that. And they have allowed us to have access to all of our students' iReady scores so that we can monitor, what they're doing, how they're doing, how they're progressing, or if they're falling back, what's happening. Allows us the opportunity to communicate, to find out what's happening, so that we can then focus our energy on things that we do at our after school program or our summer program that can focus individually on that student. If they're having a challenge one particular area, then we can focus on that. We have wonderful volunteers that come in and they do one-on-one sessions with our students and create relationships with them. And they also were told, here's what this child's challenge is. And they work with our students to kind of hopefully overcome that. But our relationship with the Georgetown County School District is amazing. And they also help us with transportation during our summer program, because we do a lot of field trips with our students. During the summertime, they provide us with our breakfast and lunch that we serve our kids. In the after school program, we have a different food program, but they're amazing. And we just hope that relationship will continue, because it's so beneficial to our students, number one. It's beneficial to our staff, number two. And we feel like it's beneficial to each school based on the fact that, our kids are being successful academically, and that obviously shows to the bottom line of their scores, so.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad that you segued into the academic part of it, because, as an after school program, summer program, the enrichment is highly critical. And I'm sure that the enrichment, as far as I can tell, includes, literacy. It also includes, cultural and kind of environmental things, as we, saw in all of the photos that, were scrolling through the deck at the beginning of the show. And as you think about the impact of this program, tell us a little bit about what you've seen in terms of student success. How has this program helped students to be more successful?
Oh my goodness. So this year, this May, we will have our 2025-26 graduating class is 9 of our 10 students. Obviously, kids move away or they have personal challenges that don't allow them to finish out 12 years with us, even though we're sad when that happens. So we have 9 of them that are going to graduate on time with great grades, and each one of them will get a $1,500 scholarship for their wherever they decide to do in college. And then we have a work trade scholarship that they can apply for as well. But we also a total, besides those 50, those 9 students, we have 57 of our students that have graduated college. We have 3 that have gotten master's degrees. We have 1 that's pursuing a doctorate degree, and I think by the end of this year she will have achieved that doctorate degree. And then we have 3 that are in the military, and we have 1 of our students that graduated last year that is going for his, I guess you call it, his HVAC apprenticeship or license certificate. Yeah.
Really need those, don't we?
Absolutely. And we have more and more of our kids that are, looking at the trade. Not everybody is designed for college, and that's okay. I mean, some of the trade, and with all the resources that we have in Horry and Georgetown County, with the advanced technology at the Horry Georgetown Tech, with the culinary school, with the Horry Georgetown Tech. I mean, there's just, and our service industry that drives this economy that we live in. I mean, it's so important for them to, feel like I don't think our kids feel the pressure that they have to go to college. If they want to go to college, obviously, we have scholarships for that, but we do also have scholarships for our trade students.
Kim, tell us a little bit about kind of the profile of the typical student who's in your after school or summer school program.
Our students come with a lot of challenges. I mean, they're not in an environment of learning. They have, peer challenges. They have personal, emotional challenges, spiritual challenges, academic, obviously, challenges. That is, we know by research that if our kids are not reading at grade level by grade 3, they will drop out of high school. They will not graduate from high school, and their future will not be as complete as God has intended them to be. That is, and our program is free to our families. There is no charge to our families. We're blessed with, local, regional, and state, and some federal grants that allow us to do what we do, and give us the privilege to do what we do. But, they are challenged, and we, and COVID really took a big hit with everybody nationally, but with our kids specifically. And it's probably been up till last year that we are actually back to the level of scores that we were before COVID. And that's not just our program, that's anybody, in any kid that's in education, they're challenged with that. But we are blessed with, having 78% of our kids right now are on grade level. They're either on grade level or above for reading. And with math, 63% of them are at grade level or above. And compared to the state, I think the state, I'm going to look at my notes here. I think the state for reading is at 70. The state report card is 72%. We're at 78. And for math, the state report card is at 57%, and we're at 63. So, we kind of align ourselves when we're looking at our iReady scores and we're trying to see where our kids are, is we make sure that obviously we are doing better than what is the normal, but we want to do better than, we just want to do better, period. And I think the other more important thing, and we have we have a relationship with First Baptist Church in Andrews, and the pastor there, every time I see him, he always says, you know, I never thought I'd see the day that the schools would allow prayer back in school. And you all brought prayer back to school, because we do disciple our kids. As we said, it's a Christ-centered program. So we do have discipleship every day. And, that is, they have a mantra called respectful. And there's, a definition of each one of those letters of that word respectful that they could recite to you if you ask them to do that. So, there is a discipline and a culture with us, and it is, very Christ-centered, very service-centered, and very academically centered.
Mm-hmm.
I find interesting with the graphics that April just put up, that you had them voting. They were voting. Where was this taking place? What?
Yeah. So our 6-week summer program, we do a field trip every week, and we have gone to, I think that one was on the Black River somewhere. I want to say it's the Preserve, it's outside of Andrews. And so we've gone to Huntington Beach State Park. We go to Hobcob Barony. We've gone to the Charleston Aquarium. We've gone to the Francis Marion Planetarium. So once a week for 6 weeks, they go on a field trip, all of them, and it's centered around a theme. This year's theme, which I'm so excited about and so proud of our campus directors and our program director, is the 6 days of creation. So each week is going to focus on day 1, day 2, day 3 of God's creation. And then they'll have a field trip that will be, associated to that. That picture that you saw, Mr. McQueen, was one of our field trips. And then we also teach our kids how to swim. So our Georgetown and our Andrews students go to the YMCA in Georgetown. And then at our brick and mortar building in Polly's, we have an Olympic-sized pool in our backyard. And we have, our kids, it's important where we live, right on the big water, the Atlantic Ocean. And we have so many water tributaries that it's very important for us to make sure that our kids know how to swim.
Mm-hmm.
That's one important aspect that was left out of my life, I tell you. Because we didn't have the facilities when I was growing up, so we didn't have that opportunity. But they exist there now in Conway. You have a pool, a couple of pools where they're accessible to everybody. Yeah. That was kind of like a void in my life, man. But not being able to swim. I think and I'm finding out that that's one of the most important things that you should be able to do. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And people just automatically assume that because we live so close to the water that we know how to swim. And you're right, Brother Edward. Growing up in Conway, the only pool that I remember was Smith Jones Recreation Center. As far as being able to go out there and take swim lessons. But then there was always the beach. My brother learned how to swim, as you would say, by trial by fire. Somebody picked him up and threw him in the ocean.
Right. Yeah. Most of us.
State Park, our cousins came down from Philadelphia one summer, and they were just taken by the ocean, right? And so one of the older cousins picks my youngest brother up and throws him in the ocean, and he was just, doing his thing. And by the end of the day, though, he knew how to swim. So, it's amazing. And I think that's wonderful that you actually offer, that as well, because there's so many children who would not have that opportunity just organically because their parents may not know how to swim. So they're not going to, while they may know it's important, it might not be like top of mind or a priority or whatever the case is. Right. But so thank you for watching. Timothy McCray says, glad this program is still going. Brother Van was the founder of this program. So she mentioned him in the beginning, Tim. Thank you for watching tonight. You were talking about of course, I love the fact that there's a nutrition component that you have. And because of, food insecurity and all the things, I don't know how many of these young people actually live in food deserts. But just knowing that, children have, hot meals or the opportunity to get some kind of nutrition or snacks, in these types of programs, that's always a plus. Because sometimes it's the only meal they may have, or the only substantial meal they may have. But I'm also particularly interested in the mental health component that you talk about or that your website describes, and the fact that, and you mentioned it earlier, that a lot of these children come with certain barriers and challenges. And so as you all work with the children, Kim, what are some of the resources that are offered to children and families whenever you, kind of recognize that there is more help that's needed from that mental and emotional well-being side of things?
So we have mental health counselors on our campuses, and they usually spend about 25 hours a week. Each of our counselors, touch at least one student, each week. That is their goal. And they, spend time with students one-on-one. They have, therapeutic ways of, seeing if there's any underlying challenges that are going on. If there are, and we have found, I think currently one of our counselors has 15 of our families in private counseling. And so that our counselor will help them with whatever, Medicare funding is available for that kind of counseling. Obviously, the family has to want to do that and agree to do that. So that all of that's kept very confidential. I don't know who those 15 students are that are in the the family counseling with their family, but it is amazing. We have a gentleman by the name of Coach Dave. He is a pastor, so he's very, takes a very Christian approach to his therapy, and they love him, and they always look forward to seeing him. And so, the relationships that our counselors have built with our kids is there's no value to it because it's just huge, and it's so helpful for those students who are really, really challenged, and the families that are challenged with that student, and being able to uncover some of those issues. So that was something that we realized we had to put into place when COVID came. It was that the pressure of COVID really brought out a lot of the other challenges that our kids were dealing with on a daily basis.
Well, it's great that you have the ability to provide some type of trauma-informed care or mental health, service, even if it is from the standpoint of just, identifying and talking with parents about, what the indicators are, and, what they can do in order to make sure that their children are successful. I see Reverend Adamson in my view, and Reverend Adamson, just want you to know, Kim says she's eager to talk to you. She would love to speak with you. So I'm going to bring you into the screen. Hey, Reverend Adamson, how are you?
I'm good.
All right. Great. Reverend Adamson, this is Kim Fox. She's the executive director of Teach My People.
It's so good to see you.
It's so good to see you too.
And we were telling her a little bit about you and the wonderful things that you do in Conway, from education to historical preservation. And when we mentioned, of course, that you work with the youth and you have several programs, she's like, I want to speak with her. Okay. So, Reverend Adamson, I know you heard a little bit as you came in about the things that are offered by Teach My People. And the organization, of course, the motto is hope and a future for at-risk children and youth. As you think about, why it's important to have resources in place for that segment of the youth and children, why are programs like the ones that you have, Reverend Adamson, and Teach My People, why are they important in our community, especially now? Why are they important?
Well, I've been acquainted with her organization for quite a long time, and, just so proud of the work that they do. And have been supportive of the persons that I knew in the past that were working with them. Carol Burnett said years ago that all of our children are at risk.
Mhm.
And I don't see our children as segmented, because just as my children were at risk, anybody from any kind of socioeconomic background or anybody who has breath is at risk in this world. So we want to encourage our young people, and especially be supportive of parents, because people's backgrounds are so much different from this ideal that we had in our head about
Right.
a two-parent family
Mhm.
evolving from other sets of two-parent families. Things are complicated. Our lives are complicated, and people need to be supported in their parenting. And the whole notion that Marion Wright Edelman and Hillary Clinton have of adopting the African proverb, it takes a village to raise a child.
Right.
Mhm.
And we know it takes a village to raise some grown folk. So
Okay.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So
Mhm.
the work that they are doing is absolutely critical in these days and times. And we just salute anybody who enters into the fray, because these times are so fraught. There's so many negative things coming at our children. Aren't we glad that we did not grow up in the era of social media?
Yes,
Mm.
ma'am.
I mean, just think of that compared to the children who are growing up now. Our childhoods were idyllic because we could actually be outside and not have parental supervision.
Yeah.
And, that kind of freedom, that kind of independence, that kind of ability to explore and be creative, and learn about nature and about people. Our children don't have that anymore.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, the program that we have, Kim, is the Children's Defense Fund Freedom School.
Oh,
And one of the words that we use in our program is that we want to bring the joy of childhood to children. We want to give them the joy of reading. So we try not to constrain them in ways that they're constrained in the public school. We know that they have mitochondria, they have muscles, they are curious, and they want to move. So we want to provide an environment where they can move, and that movement of their bodies stimulates their minds. So there are just so many facets to the work that you are doing, and to the work that we've been charged to do. And we certainly would love to talk with you, because the Freedom School curriculum is one that we would like to see over our entire state. And so I'll be glad to come and visit with you and see what y'all are doing, and tell you all about the Palmetto Works Sankofa Freedom School.
okay. I'd love that. I would love that.
So, Ms. Fox, I can echo what Reverend Adamson or Cheryl, well, anyone would prefer call her. She has a great institution over. I call it an institution because the product is so vivid. Of that she has been created there, and the outcome is usually. There are always challenges, but that makes it good. You know, it's the challenges that make it good. So, just wanted to echo that. Cheryl, you mentioned. I think the audience needs to know who Carol Burnett is. She made.
In other words, I'm dating myself, huh?
I know Carol Burnett is.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Carol Burnett was an actress and a comedian, and she had one of the first shows that was hosted by a woman. And she was, very smart, very creative, and a businesswoman.
Yeah.
So she was a boss. but she had 2 daughters. And, you know, of course, people would look at her daughters and think, oh, y'all are so lucky. And when I read that she said that just really opened up the world for me, to, you know, help parents realize that we are equally in danger. And this is the thing, we don't have any children to lose.
Right.
We don't
Absolutely.
have any children to lose,
That's
because
right.
we don't
Absolutely.
know when that next astronaut or engineer or truck driver or plumber, we don't know who they are. But we need to provide them with the best environment that they can. And the parents are under so much duress and stress that we need to give them a break to be able to continue to grow spiritually and socially and economically, and to shore them up, you know, because a lot of people in our communities don't have the extended families of grandparents and aunts and uncles to help them with their parenting. So one of the things about our program, Kim, is that we call it an intergenerational leadership training movement.
Oh,
Yes. And there are 181 sites in the country. And another name for people who are not my age is Marion Wright Edelman, who is a native of Bennettsville, South Carolina. She was the first African-American woman to pass the bar exam in Mississippi. And she went on among those who were people who taught in the freedom schools in Mississippi when they were trying to get people literate to be able to vote.
Right.
She brought that concept out into the nation and started freedom schools over 33 years ago.
wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, I think that's why I appreciate our closed enrollment, because it does give us the opportunity to not only support our students, but to support the family. We get to know their circumstances. We understand what their challenges are. Because, you know, when you live with a child for 12 years, like they do, I mean, we don't have them all day long, but we certainly have them for a good period of time in the afternoon. That we, you know, we can certainly wrap our arms around them as well and try to be as supportive of the family as a whole, not just our students. But, you know, trying to do that holistic approach to our students' lives, which includes their family, you know, whether that's a grandmother or a mom or a dad or
that's right,
older sister or older brother, whatever that circumstance might be.
We are one of 23 sites in the country that was a part of the first parent advocate cohort last summer. And our new executive director for the Freedom School is Dr. Simone Goss. And already they are calling on her at the national level to talk about what we were able to achieve last summer. So we are really looking forward to how much more we're going to be able to do with our parents. One of the things that we do in our Freedom School is that we teach our children about the civil rights movement, about social justice, and how to advocate for themselves, for their families, for their communities, for the nation, and for the world. And one of the things that we realized in the process of teaching them is that our parents didn't know about the civil rights movement because they were not born in that era. And we say, oh, we got to teach our own, but who is actually teaching people our history? So we had to get, what do they call them when you have the cartoons in a book, graphic novels about the civil rights movement that we shared with our parents. That was at 8th grade reading level, you know, for some of the kids, and share those with parents because they didn't know anything other than, some of them did not know anything other than Martin Luther King Jr. and Rosa Parks. And we know that our story is much more complex and much more in depth. It involves more people and more situations than many of people in our community are aware of.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, I tell you,
just to encourage them that they are big citizens, and regardless of their socioeconomic background, that they can be contributing members of society, and teach them how to do that. One of the things that we did early on when we were doing the after-school program at EME Apartments, it used to be Old Cherry Hill, is that we would invite the director of the Shepherd's Table for Thanksgiving and do a canned food drive with the children whose parents were on food stamps, because they could get a can out of their cupboard to give to somebody else.
Yeah.
Another thing that we did is that we had our children in the Christmas parade. We'd have a truck or a float or something for the children to ride on. Do you know who was most proud of that? The mothers. Because they walked alongside the children in the parade, and their friends would say to them, well, how did y'all get to be in the Christmas parade?
That's right.
And we wanted to show them that they have a place in the society.
Yeah.
That they have a reason to be there. And it meant more to those parents, I can tell you, than it did to the kids. That they can be big citizens, no matter what their socioeconomic background is.
Absolutely.
Well, I tell you, Reverend Adamson, you have added richly to this conversation with Kim tonight, and it's amazing, kind of the spectrum of what you two offer through your respective programs. Kim and Reverend Adamson, you are familiar with the program, but being a Christ-centered program focused on the mental, emotional, spiritual, all the things. Kind of moving into Horry County and Reverend Adamson, making sure that, the history, the civic engagement, all those things are also a part of youth enrichment. I mean, that's very powerful. And I think it's going to take more grassroots organizations, more, community organizations to really make this type of thing happen. Because you're right, we have gotten away from that, or I don't even know if it really truly existed in traditional educational settings. And so we have the opportunity to supplement education with a lot of what you all do and introduce our youth and children to things that they will never be able to experience in their 7:45 to 3 o'clock day, at school. That definitely opens their minds and broadens their horizons. And so, kudos, as Brother Ed will say, to both of you for the wonderful work that you're doing. I hope that there's some way for the two of you to collaborate. Because I was going to ask earlier, I know, Kim, that, Teach My People's down in Georgetown. Do you have any vision of moving that into Horry County or closer to Horry County, or?
Well, we did a couple of years ago have a group of community leaders that wanted Teach My People in Conway. And we went through the process. I mean, obviously for us to expand, a community has to come together and support the financial requirements for making that happen. And, but one thing that shut us down, which is one of the cores of who we are, is our academically focused, that Horry County School District would not allow us to have access to our students' academic records and scores. I mean, hopefully someday that would change, but we can't be successful unless we understand, can see what's going on and have that relationship with their teachers and understand what's going on with our individual kids. So that kind of put a pin in it right now, but that's not to say that, it might not happen. It might happen one day. I don't know. We're just going to let God take us where he wants us to go. We're not actively, trying to find places to expand to, but if God leads us that way and brings people together for us that wants us to do that, then we will.
Just observing the synergy between the two of you, can you kind of envision great advantages about, like April said, collaborating on some things, if not coming together and unifying or
So
whatever.
one of the things, when we talk about collaboration, you really start right where you are, and immediately two responses to what she just said about having access to the children's educational record. From our understanding, the parents can give consent individually for the children's records to be shared, or there's a way for you to engage with the parents and require them to give you the information. Now, a way around that we have done is that Freedom School provides us with data collection and evaluation. So we do a pre and post test by an independent person, perhaps a student or graduate student at Coastal, hired by the National Children's Defense Fund, so that we know where they start and where they end. And then by the parents self-reporting, and I mean some really well-traveled and exposed children for the first time going back into school this year, their parents said they were 2 reading levels ahead of where they left off in the spring. Because, one of the major things that Kim's program and ours try to do is to mitigate against the summer reading slide. And, based on socioeconomics, if our children don't get to travel and have experiences in the summer, then over the course of the summer, they may end up back where they were in February.
Right.
While other kids have had trips and been to museums, had other experiences, and they may either be at the level that they're supposed to be, or maybe even a few months ahead. But that's one of the things that one of our major focuses, not so much on the reading skill, Kim. We focus more on books that the children would be interested in.
Gotcha.
Rather than focusing on the skill of reading.
Yeah.
And inevitably that means they'll read more, and then their reading level goes up.
That's right.
Yeah. So problem solving is one of the first ways that we can collaborate.
Absolutely.
And it sounds like praying is another.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Praying is another way we can collaborate.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
telling
absolutely.
you.
Well, Miss April, I hope you'll share with me Reverend Adamson's information so I can.
You got it.
We can connect beyond today. So
Yes, absolutely.
Well, I look forward to it.
Yes, and Kim, what are you gonna say, Brother Edward? I was just gonna thank
I was about
Kim.
to say, speaking of sharing information, Cheryl has some information
great
she wants
information
to
share with us.
great information about what's coming up, and that's always a fantastic event. So, Cheryl, you can tell us a bit more about that.
Okay. And Kim, you're invited.
thank you. I look forward to it.
Am I invited?
Whittemore Race Path Historical Society, and we're having our 3rd annual Heritage Gala, and we're going to be honoring people in our community who have been trendsetters and pace setters, and who have advocated on behalf of our community. So this is going to take place on Saturday, April the 25th at 6:00 p.m. at the Mason Temple Church of God in Christ Fellowship Hall. And our speaker for the occasion is going to be architect Michael Allen, who was a young man who graduated from Conway High and went to Clemson University, and has his own architectural firm in and around Atlanta, Georgia. He was with us when we began the fight to try to save the Whittemore Elementary School, which is an equalization school that stood for nearly 67, 68 years. And just about the time that we thought that our community would have possession of the building, somehow this brick and stone building caught on fire. And so it's a great loss to our community. But nevertheless, the Lord had a plan for us to lift up the rest of the history of our community. So the persons that we're going to honor on Saturday, the 25th at 6, will be people who were trailblazers in law and law enforcement, in medicine and nursing,
Wow.
in education, in public and community service, and business and entrepreneurship. So we're not naming them now because we've got to get permission from them to share that. We've got to get their consent that they are going to actually be there with us. But that has been a great coming together for our community. One of the things about the work that Teach My People and Palmetto Works Sankofa Freedom School is doing is trying to instill in our children encourage the potential that they have in them. And because so many of our children don't go to church anymore, and a lot of adults don't go to church anymore, there are not very many places where we can all be together.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we experienced through this gala is at least 150, 175 of us get to come together to celebrate our heritage. So the ticket prices are $5. Most of you know people who are members of the Whittemore Race Path Historical Society, and you can feel free to text me. But our chairperson is Valerie Skipper, who is a very well-known and accomplished woman in our community. And you can contact her or contact Mr. McQueen's wife, or Marcia Ransom, Edna DeWitt, Carolyn Hickman Williams. Just reach out to anybody and say, I want tickets to that gala. And they'll be able to point you to somebody who is able to get tickets to you for that occasion.
Right.
All right. Awesome. Brother Edward, I know you're excited. You're the resident photographer and everything else.
Yeah. Expecting to see your face there.
Some pictures.
Yes.
Expecting to see your face there.
Absolutely. Yes. I plan to be there.
Yeah. You think you can come home?
Yes, ma'am. Sister Joella's, yeah.
Good.
Reach out, definitely.
Joella is on the case.
She is on the case. It's been on the case from the beginning, so I will be there.
Great.
But thank you both so much for being here with us this evening. And I just have one other announcement, Brother Edward, before we call it a night. I just want to remind everyone that the book signing for Reverend Lonnie B. Chestnut's
Absolutely.
his memoir, A Bright Side, is this coming Saturday from 11 to 1 at Friendship Missionary Baptist Church.
Yeah.
And I'm especially excited about this. Reverend Lonnie, of course, is my uncle, and his daughter, Cassandra, wrote this book. And it is an amazing story. It actually encapsulates a lot of Horry County history, Whittemore history.
A lot.
Yeah, and so I enjoyed reading it. Kim, Uncle Lonnie, and he doesn't look too far off of that picture right there. He'll be 97 this year, I believe.
That's right.
Oh, my.
97 years old. So there's, a lot of history there that is just incredible. So we just wanted to remind everyone that the book signing is this weekend. If you have a book, please bring it out, and Uncle Lonnie will be there ready to sign. And I think Sandra said that there might be a couple of copies available. I think she's going to have just a couple copies available. But if you want to purchase a book, you can go to iuniverse.com to find this book title and order the book. But it is a wonderful book that, like I said, tells his story. It talks about a lot of historical aspects of Conway, Horry County, Whittemore, Chestnut Consolidated Schools, all the things.
He's done it all.
He's
all over Horry County. Okay.
Covered a lot. Mm-hmm.
His 97 years has been very, very productive.
They have not been wasted, have they?
No. I'm serious.
Not at all.
Remember one other name of a person that may have tickets, and that is Priscilla Fuller.
Yes.
So
I think
reach out to Priscilla.
Yeah.
Now we're speaking of age of 97. Now there's another 97-year-old that is just as equal in terms of just her
Vibrancy.
yeah, just put it that way. Yeah. And Kim, or her name is Miss Mary Moore.
Oh, I know her.
And you know her?
Well, I don't know her personally, but I have heard of her. Yes.
Just look to your left.
That's my mama.
Oh, that's your mom.
Yes.
Gosh.
Yes, our mama, I should say.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
that's right.
Pretty much.
much.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much.
yeah.
And
He's the community mama. That's for real.
Yes.
Mhm. Yes, yes. So we have some wonderful things going on for the month of April. If you have any other community announcements, we'd love to share them on our future broadcast. Please let us know. Send us your flyers. Drop a post on my page or World Community Magazine or the network, and we'll be sure to share it here during the show. But also, we can post it to the WCMmagazine.net website. So, Brother Edward, I tell you, we've had a wonderful start to April. With our special guest Kim Fox of Teach My People, and of course Reverend Adamson. She's a regular. She's Reverend Adamson.
Oh yeah,
is a regular.
yeah.
What did you call me, April?
You're a regular. You plug in anytime. Yeah.
Right. So I want to be back on next Tuesday too, because I may have some names for you.
Well, come on. Yeah.
All right.
We love it. We
So-
love
I
it.
love you, April. I love you, April.
I love you too, Kim. That will never change.
Good to see
Right.
you.
Yes.
So,
Thank you so
and
much.
for
Kim.
you all, before you all leave next week, we have one of our guest columnists in, and he's a young man, just pursuing. I think is going to be in the medical field for a while,
Mhm.
and he's on our magazine staff, and he's going to be talking. Or to be discussing next week about I think it's artificial intelligence, I believe.
Yes.
And I'm very anxious to find out from him because it's really evaded me, artificial intelligence, as most people, I guess, our age. But so anxious to have him on. His name is Christian Newman, and he's our columnist in our magazine and contributor.
Yes, he's actually going to be talking about cognitive resilience, and the title of his article, "The Aging Brain Isn't Inevitable: What Neuroscience Says About Cognitive Resilience." So he's going to talk about that next week. Yeah.
I need that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. That in some points, I believe that centers around dementia coming on, dementia, stuff like that.
Mhm.
My error when I said AI, but that is AI. That is artificial intelligence.
I'll tell you, Brother Edward. Well, again, thank you all for joining us tonight. And we will see you all next week. Same time, same back channel. And we hope that everyone has a blessed week.
Absolute
Bless
Godspeed.
you, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for watching the World Community Magazine's Hour of Power Live on Facebook.